few days. Been a few days. See if we get some people in the room. Oh, wait a minute. I need to sign in and get some people in the room. Oh, yeah, this will be good. Till we get some people in the room. Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can find him, Noriega. And it's 3 doors. Let me see if I can find that. Oh, they just started. What was I looking for? Oh, Noriega. Nor, any, Nor. Oh, here we go. Oh, shit. Okay, I got that. We're going to see if we get some people in the room. So let's get started. You know what? People do not believe that there is a homosexual and a transgender agenda against our children. And I'm just going to start out with this video. Noriega said it better than anybody.
When you platinum and you getting 50,000 a show, I've been there. There's a door that you can walk in. I'm not sure if it's homo or if it's Illuminati. I just didn't take that though. I went straight. What do you mean? This is when you get to a level of success, when you get 30, 40, 50,000 a show, you platinum, you're running across the world. There's 3 different doors, right? There's 3 different ways to walk. There's to the left, there's to the right, and then there's straight. Straight is you're on your own.
Right.
Let's see if you continue the success, young man. Let's see if it's all about your skills, young man. Let's really see that. And you went straight. To the right, I'm not sure if that's the homo shit right there. And then there's to the left, I'm not sure if there's some sacrifice shit going on right there. I'm not sure because I went straight. But I was offered these doors. It's just your some gay shit. I don't. No. I'm saying that to the right when I seen it, those guys over there. Different people, which I have no problem with. That's y'all. You feel me? And I just chose to go straight, and I haven't been platinum since.
Facts. 3 doors. And that's what we're getting at. And I just wanted to start out with that video to show that this our agenda against our children. Anything, Satan does anything that's against God. All of these things are demonic. So let's get into it. The term transgender is used in 2 vastly different contexts as proactive framework for rights by advocates and a rhetorical trope in political discourse. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Hey Danish, hey sweetie. Proponents often speak of trans agenda for liberation or a federal state agenda for equality. Bullshit. This refers to proactive effort by transgender leaders and organizations to achieve specific social and legal goals, legal equity, healthcare access to transition children at 10, 11 years old. I got videos where girls cut off their breasts at 13, 14. You, you can't make that decision at that age because you change. So we just getting off into it. I wanted to do something different because there's so much shit going on. Oh my God. Um, the ability to update legal documents, IDs, birth certificates to reflect your gender identity. You know, you can do that with your driver's license and your ID. You can do that. Conversely, transgender is frequently utilized as a derogatory term or conspiracy theory by some politicians and media figures. Well, it's not a conspiracy theory because you have celebrities who adopt children who are boys and they start as young as 2 and 3 and they dressing them up as girls. And they are putting confusion into these children. And I mean, just like, what's that lady name who played in The Devil's Advocate? Dang, what's that way? She adopted 3 African boys and she started grooming them as girls as young as 3 and 4. That's bullshit. See, that's an agenda. And now let me see if my son wants to. Ooh, cause he know this real good about. It's called Danye. Danye. A Danye. It's called inversion, where like he says like Megan Thee Stallion is really a man. He was like, "How you seen a woman that tall?" I said, "Well, I work with a woman 6'7" and she's 72 years old and shit, she finally retired though. But I said, yeah, they can be that tall. It depends on the genes, but she was a stud anyway. But that's another topic for another day. Anyway, this is described as an anti-trans troop meant to suggest a coordinated, nefarious effort to indoctrinate or recruit people. And they doing it in the schools. I got some videos to show you on that. It is frequently used to oppose LGBTQWXYZ affirming policies and to frame the push for visibility as a threat. No, it's a threat when it's used to children under 18 years old. Once you become a legal age, you do whatever you want to do. But there's been many stories of people who were transition at a young age and they truly regret that. Got videos on that too. As of April 2026, the legislative focus has been heavily concentrated on restricting these rights. Absolutely, in children. With hundreds of bills in the U.S. aimed at restricting gender affirming care, limiting bathroom access. Yes, because my thing is if you still got a winky or a penis, whether you identify as a woman or not dressed as a woman, you need to go to the men's bathroom. Facts. Now, once you cut it off, I don't have no problem because ain't nothing you can do anyway. And regulating sports participation. Transgender promotes Law Center promotes a trans agenda for liberation. prioritizing racial and gender justice. If this ain't some sick ass shit, and do you know it's been a lot of these mass killings have been transgender. So is it a mental issue? What's going on here? What's going on? Advocates for trans equality formed by the member of NCTE and TLDF. This group lobbies for legal and political rights. Okay. So the Trump administration spoke with two detransitioners who feel harmed um, while going through the detransitioning process to go back to however they were naturally born. For some people, gender shifts over time, often through changes in one's sense of self. A transgender man may realize they are non binary and stop hormone replacement therapy. I'm waiting to see how many of the people develop cancer from this hormone because you have to be taking estrogen. And women or cis women, natural biologically born women, they don't give us estrogen because it causes cancer. But a trans woman may face so much discrimination that she represses her identity, and some trans people medically reverse their transition to live as their sex assigned at birth. These experiences are all part of a process known as detransitioning. Although detransitioning does not have a consistent social or academic definition, it generally applies to someone who has sought a gender transition and stopped, shifted, or reversed the process. Their experience offer a deeper look at how discrimination and gender norms impact our lives, how gender affirming care can be improved, and how identity is perhaps more fluid than previously thought. As experts work to understand detransitioners, their vulnerabilities, their highly individualized needs, their identities are being co opted as part of a national campaign against the transgender agenda. Healthcare access and research are being blocked by politicians for both trans people and detransitioners, while anti trans rhetoric puts everyone at risk. No, because something is seriously wrong with the brain when you see these mass transgender killing, or are they under MK Ultra? Maybe they under MK Ultra. They could be. The Federal Trade Commission and the Justice Department are investigating gender affirming care as medical fraud, and they are rooting this effort in detransitional stories that fit the narrative that the Trump administration wants to advance. The White House wants the National Institute of Health to study, regret, and detransition, even as it cuts any federal funding for research that mentions the word trans. The U.S. Department of Education hosted a D-Trans Awareness Day. Damn, I didn't even know that. The White House and agencies like the Justice Department claim that gender affirming care is mutilating children. It is. It is mutilating children who may change their mind or who were indoctrinated or coaxed into believing that they were born in the wrong body, overlooking that young trans people live happily after transition. That is definitely not true. And the studies showing that adolescents who regret transition are in the minority. That's not true. So the government says these people are victims of a medical conspiracy to boost profits and force gender ideology on families. That's a fact. Now they're claiming evidence to prove these claims by subpoenaing hospitals for patients' private data, including doctors' notes, patient addresses, and social security numbers. Gender affirming care has been broadly endorsed by the medical community for its effectiveness in treating gender dysphoria. That's bullshit because some hospitals that have stopped were, and I got videos on that. Some doctors were happy to stop doing it. The 2022 U.S. Trans Survey polled 92,000 trans and non-binary people 16 and older, found that social and medical transition were profound sources of life satisfaction. I don't believe that. Experts and advocates agree that more research and more understanding are needed to improve trans medical care. But under Trump, they also expect transgender and intersex health to keep getting worse. Now, still, under all this, still more young people have been exploring their identities, expanding the boundaries of gender, and adding to the cultural and social norms surrounding it. These transitional experiences are part of the social evolution. Their stories of regret and pain exist alongside stories of joy and empowerment. And these are all the part of the journey of self discovery that may have turned out to be more complicated than they initially thought. The question is, will elected officials support them on this journey or cause more harm? Taking away trans health care is taking away people's lives. All right, we're about to get into these videos because I got a whole bunch of videos. But like I said, I'm at the point now. If you under 18, it's no way that you should be getting any type of surgery or transitioning into another gender. But I got so many videos on what they doing to these kids. It's awful. So first we're gonna get off into what Trump said. And then we're gonna get off. Damn, what I do with the shit? Oh Lord. Oh, here we go. Gender insanity being pushed on our children is an act of child abuse. Very simple. Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers, which are in no way licensed or approved for this use.
My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow a minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parents' consent. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
So, like in California and Minnesota, if a child went to the teacher and said, "Well, I don't feel like I'm a girl, I should be a boy," they didn't even need their parents' permission, and they would start giving them puberty blockers and even recommend them for surgery, and that's bullshit. That's bullshit. You too young to make that kind of decision because they changed their minds and they have. Now, the law did pass in Congress that for anything for minors under 18, they can no longer do this. It's illegal. So that bill did pass. But then you had the Democratic Party, because everything that party stands for is against God. It really is. They blocked the bill. So let's hear.
Well, tonight on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, the Democrats.
This is Philip Scott Park. I love him.
They don't. Most Americans right now are pretty, unified on they don't want, biological males in women's sports.
Well, that is true about Dwayne Wade, but shit, I think he's zesty too, which I don't have a problem. Now we're talking about children when what I'm speaking about. I'm talking about children specifically, but I think he's zesty too, and so he sacrificed his son for fame. Will Smith and he sacrificed his kids. They didn't do the sacrifice, or well, he did both of them did the homo part. As I talked about those three. Yeah, I could say Noah, but Dwayne Wade and Will Smith both did the homo part, but they sacrificed their kids as well. So let's get back into this.
Of daughters. And I would not want a biological male in any sport with my child. I'm sorry.
Me neither.
No, because we have men's sports for a reason.
Facts.
We have, women's sports for a reason. Now they want to create a category, I guess, for trans athletes, and they all compete against each other. Okay.
I'm fine with that.
This could be the happy median, but no, they don't want to create that happy median. They want to put them in the women's category. Well, they've been trying to pass actual laws about this, and guess who in the Senate blocked a bill that most Americans support? The Democrats. And you wonder why they're going to continue to lose elections. So you got 2026 coming up. You have some Senate seats, and you have some House of Representative seats coming up. Is this the people that you really want to go out and vote for to represent you? When you're completely against this for the sake of your children. Well, let's go ahead on and look at this. Senate Democrats blocked the GOP-led bill to ban transgender athletes in women's sports. Now, it says Senate Democrats, let's say on Monday, blocked a GOP-led bill that would ban transgender athletes in women's and girls' sports. And federally funded schools and education institutions bill failure to advance highlights the limits of.
We're not gonna go to that whole thing, but they did. I'm not gonna let that whole thing play. Now here's a D transitioning story. Oh shoot. Damn. Let me. Why can't I bring this up?
2 years ago, I got gender reaffirming surgery. Here's a fucking honest update. Do I regret it? Short answer is yes. Don't get me wrong, I got it done twice. It looks Barbie. Why do I regret it? Well, because I will never be able to live a normal life. After the surgery, you have to start dilating to keep the space they gave you. You start from doing it 4 times a day to once a week for the rest of your life. I was fine with that. See, the problem is, I had major complications, and now for some reason, I need to do it every single fucking day. Now, obviously, I've had relations, and girls, we all know, guys don't fucking know what to do. So it's not really worth it to me. The problem is, I cannot stop. If I stop, it's gonna close up and create a bubble, and that bubble could literally create an infection that could. The two options here are I dilate for the rest of my life, or I get it removed surgically. Surgery goes for $70,000. Jeez. Sounds like a lot. 2 years ago, I got gender reaffirming surgery. Here's
Nah, I'm gonna play that.
Update. Do I regret it? Short answer.
I'm gonna play that again. So once you cut your penis off, you have to dilate it every day. She has to dilate it every day to keep it open. That's daily dilating a man-made hole. Wow, that's deep. That's deep. That's deep. So you start off, but normally you start out once you cut off your penis, dilating every day, and then it goes to once a week, or it closes up and it creates a bubble. Is this shit really worth it? And they say once you cut off your penis, there's absolutely no feeling. And I guess so, because your penis, it was natural. This, I'm gonna let this play again. 2 years ago, I got gender reaffirming surgery. Here's a fucking honest update. Do I regret it? Short answer is yes. Don't get me wrong, I got it done twice. It looks Barbie. Why do I regret it? Well, because I will never be able to live a normal life. After the surgery, you have to start dilating to keep the space they gave you. You start from doing it 4 times a day to once a week for the rest of your life. I was fine with that. See, the problem is, I had major complications, and now for some reason, I need to do it every single fucking day. Now, obviously, I've had relations, and girls, we all know, guys don't fucking know what to do. So it's not really worth it to me. The problem is, I cannot stop. If I stop, it's gonna close up and create a bubble, and that bubble could literally create an infection that could. The two options here are I dilate for the rest of my life, or I get it removed surgically. Surgery goes for $70,000. Jeez. Sounds like a lot. Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That's all I got to say. I'm going to keep that video too.
This Netflix cancellation campaign has gone so viral, with hundreds of thousands of people canceling their Netflix subscriptions, including Elon Musk, is the number one trend in the world, and Netflix has lost billions of dollars in their stock. You can see right here, absolute collapse. The reason why this is actually happening isn't your standard red versus blue political issue. It's a lot deeper than that. It's a moral issue. Have you seen what Netflix has been putting in their children's shows? This isn't like we're trying to push one way or the other. We want Democrats to win. You know, it was like everyone lives socialism. Like, it's not like that, okay? Open borders, even. It's so much worse. They're sexualizing children. It's got to be the single most radical thing you can do, the single most morally indefensible thing you can do. And I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to play you all the clips. I'm going to show you what they're putting.
This is Benny Johnson. I love him.
That's why this has gone so viral. Because Netflix has truly crossed the line. If you believe that this is wrong, you should also cancel your Netflix. Okay, here we go. Here's the matchup of every time Netflix has put transgender, sexualized, radical ideology into their children's programming. How about you break out those moves? safe when I'm with my friends or other non-binary people. Non-binary? People who aren't female or male. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have assumed. That says pronouns I may have. She just doesn't fit who I am. My apologies. Please switch therapies. I'm trans, Norma. And everyone at school knows, and everyone at home knows. And being here, it's like a whole new place. It's Cherry Check Report, but the wedding of the year. Everyone's favorite karate instructor, Sensei Dave, will be marrying mixed martial arts champion Jiu-Jitsu Joe. He's the undisputed champion of my heart. Well, the last time I saw my grandma, I used a different name and photos. Cancel your Netflix. And this Netflix cancellation campaign has gone so.
That's an agenda. That's indoctrination for children. I think I'm gonna keep that video too. This gonna trip you out. This is about 6G that we're going into. This tripped me out.
They're transitioning from what we're transhuman. They're transitioning the human race to another species. Okay, and it won't be long. It'll be in the 2020s. If you survive to 2030 without any of these genetic therapies injected into you, these biological operating systems, if you can survive to the 2030s and not become a human antenna, it's not just going to be one thing, it's going to be multiple things that they're going to try to get into our bodies. Right. If you can survive to the 2030s as a pure human being, you're going to be in a small minority of resistors.
Facts. Facts.
Of course, they'll call you terrorists, insurrectionists, enemies, infidels, but you will be the remaining purebloods. You'll be the remaining human purebloods on the planet. Satan is eliminating God's creation.
Facts.
That's why the time until Jesus Christ comes back, I believe it's very short. Nothing like this has ever happened, Doc. Nothing. It's never happened like this on this scale. We don't know what kind of technology that they had before the Great Flood. But the Bible says that Noah was pure in his generations. Does that mean he and his family were the last purebloods left on the planet? And that's what the Bible says. So the Nephilim were here.
The Nephilim were here, yes.
And they're busy. And they're directing these scientists and engineers. And they are now transitioning the human race into another species, which is being merged with technology. Synthetic biology. Start study that. Just go online and study synthetic biology. It will shock you to find out what advances in synthetic biology they've already made. One of the other interesting aspects of this particular article, though, is how 6G is going to operate in a whole new environment. It's not going to be operating like 5G is now. Basic radio.
Facts therapy. Facts. That's a fact.
Lucifer is the angel of light. So, and so we're talking 6G. I just think it's interesting that, even our own state.
I'm gonna have to do some research. I'm keeping that video too. That's a damn good video. Now this Charlie Kirk.
Transgender boys who might not have their own money to go buy tampons, if they're provided free in the bathroom, it's a huge plus. Men do not menstruate. Only women menstruate.
Right.
Call yourself whatever you don't menstruate, but trans men do menstruate. No, they don't.
Is this shit not insane? I'm gonna start that shit over with. And I'm gonna go get my damn cigarettes because I need to smoke now.
Transgender boys who might not have their own money to go buy tampons, if they're provided free in the bathroom, it's a huge plus. Men do not menstruate. Only women menstruate. Now you can call yourself whatever you want. Menstruate, but trans men do menstruate. No, same as non-binary people. Only menstruating is not exclusive to cis women. No, it's not. Yes, it is. My administration.
What the fuck? What the fuck? And cis women or women are the only one that's born with fallopian tubes and ovaries that carry fucking eggs. What the fuck is happening? I gotta go get my cigarettes. I'll be right back. Move. The damn dog that ate my food. The damn dog ate my damn food. I'm gonna play this shit one more time. The dog ate my damn food.
2 years ago, I got gender reaffirming surgery.
Now I'm gonna start this shit over.
Do I regret it? Short answer is yes. Don't get me wrong. I got it.
Wait a minute, hold on.
2 years ago, I got gender reaffirming surgery.
Okay, I gotta turn it off. Alright. They ate my damn food.
Transgender boys who might not have their own money to go buy tampons, if they're provided free in the bathroom, it's a huge plus. Men do not menstruate. Only women menstruate. Now you can call yourself whatever you want. Menstruate, but trans men do menstruate. No, same as non-binary people. Only menstruating is not exclusive to cis women. No, it's not. Yes, it is. My administration has taken action to abolish all discriminatory diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense, and these are policies that were absolute nonsense. Gender is what you identify with. I don't accept that distinction. You have to argue for it. You're just giving a conclusion. You're just making it up.
Right there, Pete.
The truth. People who hate the truth are because they see the truth as hateful. Hello everyone, I have a video from Charlie where he faces a confrontation from a particular student. The way it plays out and concludes is surprising. I'm forgiving my thoughts and on the way. Let's watch it together. So speaking of Trump, I do want to talk a little bit about his policy on DEI. As you know, in his first weeks in office, he signed the executive order declaring that DEI is both unlawful and a threat to national unity. And I just kind of want to ask you to elaborate on why DEI is unlawful.
I
Based
don't.
on the Civil Rights Act, which I have disagreements with, but based on the Civil Rights Act, which is the law of the land, it says you shall not discriminate based on color, race, creed, or origin of nationality.
Yes.
And DEI definitionally does those things. How does it definitionally do those things? So, for
I'm
example,
gonna skip past this part.
I'm
because we're talking about trans, so
comes before the other. He signed an executive order against both, for the record, so I wasn't sure which one you were talking about. I'm talking about DEI. So DEI, it depends what we mean in practice.
Okay, let's get past it.
DEI with 14% immigrant. It's one ever judged on is to be their character or their another unqualified person. They just hate to hate. It's like saying,
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna get past this video. Let me delete that. No, I'm gonna keep that on my DEI. Let me transfer this video to DEI. When I do DEI, let me transfer this to my DEI. When I go there. and delete it from over here. Give me a minute. Where's my DEI? Because I ain't hit DEI yet. I might have. Shit, I do so much stuff. Okay, here you go. That should have went there. Let me delete that from here. All right, that's deleted. Now, this is a father at his child's school that he was unaware of.
So who brought the tranny? Who brought the pedophile? No, thank you. Who brought the pedophile? We want to know. Oh, we're medically exempt. Thank you.
So this father stands up for children and shut down the drag queen indoctrination at his child's school.
Why did you? No. We want to know why there's a pedophile here. I saw videos of that. Yeah. Why did you? Hey, you see a lot of pedophiles here? Yeah. Why did you bring a pedophile? Why did you bring a pedophile? Yes, then why would you bring in children to a pedophile? Hey, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself. Why would you want to bring children to this? Why would you want to expose your children to this? Just to prove how you are a pedophile? This is only because of children to this. You want to expose your children to pedophiles? This is disgusting. It's sick. Yeah, this is sick. We have reserve. We have seat reserve. We have rights reserved. Look, we got a pedophile here. We're in Giants. Oh, man, I'm going to support the Giants, man. This is videos talking about sex. Look, we brought kids here. What is wrong with you people? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Tell me, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? This is sick. This is sick. We should be sick. There's a pedophile here with children. Come on. This is disgusting. What the hell is wrong with you people? These poor children. What is wrong with you sick people? Get out of here, you pedophile. Get out of here. You're not safe here. Get out of here. Look, no, this is sick. You are sick. You are sick. Look at these poor children. These poor children. These poor children. How dare you guys? You godless whores. You guys are sick. You're not starting again. This is over. This is over. It's over forever. No more sick pedophiles here. No, you are sick. So who brought the training?
So apparently the guy who the transgender they had videos online and they shut that down. That's indoctrination of children. That's not your choice. That's an agenda. Damn, I guess I gotta keep that video. Oh, Danye, I wanted you to come online and talk about the trans agenda. What you call it? Like you said, Megan Thee Stallion was a man. What is called? What's it called? What's it called? Like you were saying, Megan Stallion was a man. What's it called?
A stallion?
No. What's it called? The name.
The transgender?
Yeah, the transgender, but it's a name.
A male stallion?
Never mind. I wanted you to talk about it. Now, remember I was talking about the celebrities that are transitioning their children adopted. Here we are right here. This is Sam, Naomi. Sammy was born as a boy, but they dress him as a girl. This is an agenda.
Well, they have to. Well, they have to sell their kids out to to Satan.
Okay, I want you to say that in a moment.
It's
Now this is a boy as he grows up. Born a boy, now a girl.
It's to corrupt the younger generation. You got Dwayne Wade. You got Magic Johnson.
Okay, come and say that. At around 6 years old, they started transitioning Samuel in that video I just showed you, dressing as a girl. This is Samuel at 13. See what I'm saying? This is an agenda. Now, this is Samuel at 16. That's an agenda, sacrificing their kids. It's a sacrifice. Damn, I guess I gotta keep that video. Go ahead, say what you were saying. You don't want to get in the camera?
You got Dwayne Wade, Magic Johnson, Marlon Wayans. I don't know. I guess that's I don't know.
Indoctrinating the youth.
I guess that's their sacrifice.
That's they sacrifice their kids. That's the ritual. Then we had this stupid ass governor. She losing. Man, she losing.
But it made me think of Kevin Hart and Diddy.
How it make you think of Kevin Hart and Diddy?
Cause Kevin Hart got 3 kids. All of them are regular, but he a gatekeeper.
He is a gatekeeper.
So you got to think, if he's allowed to keep his kids, what did he do? We know he put the dress on, which means he got fucked.
Right.
Same thing with Diddy. But now they saying them twin girls is actually twin boys.
See, now my son's saying that Diddy twin girls was actually twin boys. We just seen what that actor did to his own son, made him a girl. This is the agenda.
Yeah. It's actually a psychological agenda.
Yeah, psychological. That's why they start with the kids. It's indoctrination. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is. And they start in schools with the drag queen show. But then you got this bitch, Governor May, and hold on, how long is this? I'm not gonna play this because we almost did an hour, but I'll be back on this.
Side 62 to stick with the current policy and adhere to the Maine Human Rights Act, which allows a student athlete to participate on the team that corresponds with their gender identity. Now, about 10 minutes after that vote, this happened. People started taking off their clothes during that school board meeting. She can't even get Bernie Sanders on her side. Check it out. Bernie Sanders urged Maine Governor Janet Mills to stay out of the 2026 Senate race in the Pine Tree State. And we're back, y'all.
This is paralegal. I love paralegal.
Governoress. Is that a governor or governoress? I know I like making up my own words. The governoress of the state of Maine, the great state of Maine. She's coming to the end of her tenure, y'all. She can't be governoress forever. And now she has to decide what she's going to do with her political career. Now, Janet Mills is, I believe, 79 right now?
She needs to sit her old ass down.
That real quick. So Janet Mills is 77 years old, and she has to make a decision. What is she going to do? I mean, she can basically fade into obscurity, or she can run to be a senator from the state of Maine. And I'll let you decide what you think she's going to do, y'all. She's running for Senate, of course she is. Now, Mills is on the national stage. She's in the national consciousness ever since earlier this year when she decided to battle Donald Trump and firmly proclaim that boys in her state will absolutely be able to compete against girls in sports. She's standing on it. That's the law, and that's that. And ever since then, she's been on my radar. She's been on your radar. She's been on everybody's radar. And now she wants to be senator. But her run might not be as smooth as she would think.
Facts.
She has a very high-profile detractor, somebody who's also on the national stage, is saying to her, Janet, don't you run. Don't you run, girl.
And she losing.
we're going to get into that today. And also, we're going to take a look at how Mainers are stepping up for their girls. And they're saying, look, enough of the craziness, Janet, and all of your ilk. We don't want boys competing against girls. It's over. It's done. It's time to put an end to the craziness. And we have some moms, I think they're moms, who decided to show their support for the girls in a very, very unusual way, y'all. So, y'all, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. But before we do, y'all,
let me go past this.
It's not the law until it has gone through the process.
Don't take girls' voices away. Don't take girls' rights away. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I want this to be done tonight and us to do the right thing and us to get on with our lives.
Now, ultimately, the board did decide 6-2 to stick with the current policy and adhere to the Maine Human Rights Act, which allows the student athlete to participate on the team that corresponds with their gender identity. Now, about 15 minutes after that vote, this happened. People started taking off their clothes during that school board meeting. Now, you heard that right. Members of the audience started to strip down to their underwear. They said they did that to make a point related to transgender girls participating in girls' sports. One speaker suggesting the uneasiness members felt would be similar to what some female athletes might feel in a locker room shared with transgender girls. At one point, a bias warning actually appeared on the screen during that live stream. So there you saw with that report. Maine school board meeting sees women undress in protest of trans athletes in girls' sports, a growing trend. Maine's trans athlete conflict reignited this week with residents taking action at school board meetings. During one meeting, one of the school boards in the state's capital of Augusta, Wednesday, during that meeting, two women undressed in protest of the state's policies to allow biological males to compete in girls' sports and use girls' locker rooms.
Let
The
me
stunt
transfer
came while
this over
local
to
parent
me.
Nick Blanchard delivered a monologue condemning the school board for enforcing the state's policies on the issue. Blanchard had spoken earlier in the meeting, but returned to the lectern at the end of the meeting while the protesting women behind him carried out the act. Quote, I'm about to show you how uncomfortable it is for young girls, Blanchard declared to the board members. You feel uncomfortable? Because that's what these young girls feel like when a boy walks into their locker room and starts changing in front of them. Yeah,
Facts.
you feel uncomfortable.
Anyway, she not winning, but she's stuck. That's the governor that went against Trump. Oh shit! Damn, I hit the wrong button. Let me delete this video. Now this is a new study.
So extremely disturbing to hear about that shooting last week with that trans man woman. 42% of trans people have attempted suicide. Maybe we should be giving these trans people mental health help instead of parades. Angry. Go out like it's okay to be angry. Get out of my face now! If you try to stop me from going into a woman's bathroom, excuse me, it's ma'am. It's the last mistake you ever make. It is ma'am. Find that anger. Hey! Harness it to do good in the world. This anger. We can just make a to say that some of us. Well. Anger is probably my primary source of motivation. You don't have to leave. You don't know anything. For everything that I do. Cut that out now, or you'll go home and neck once. It was a call to action or call to arms. Sorry. Don't be afraid to show your anger. Extremely disturbing to hear about that shooting last week with that trans man woman. 42% of trans people have attempted.
Damn, I should end this video on that note, because that says it all. That says it all.
And we are back, y'all. Thank you.
This is paralegal. This is back in Maine.
She was kind of doing a bit of a victory lap because the Trump administration settled with her as it relates to withholding funding due to the trans athlete question.
Y'all remember that? During the less than 10-minute press conference, the governor and attorney general said the withholding of school lunch program funding was unlawful. While this is a win for the state, there are still pending lawsuits, including the one filed just a few weeks ago by the United States Department of Justice against the Maine Department of Education for allegedly violating Title IX. Republicans in the legislature say there was an easy fix to this: to pass legislation that would change the law to align with President Trump's executive order. I've asked Governor Mills this question a few times now. Here's what she had to say today. This all comes down to Title IX, as you know. And there are a number of bills being proposed by Republicans in the legislature this session that have been scheduled for next week in the Judiciary Committee. I know you've called the transgender issue a worthy debate. If any of those bills cross your desks, would you sign them? I'm not going to speculate as to any particular bills. I think there are probably 8 or 10 of them.
Janet Mills was like, yeah, I knew we would win because I'm a lawyer and I know the law. Well,
she got shot down at the end.
That all into question. So you have to understand, Maine and the Trump administration continue to battle it out. It's not a done deal, y'all. There were many different questions on the table, most of them relating to do with funding from the federal government to Maine. Maine saying, look, we don't want to bend the knee. We're going to allow our biological boys to compete against our biological girls. And the Trump administration saying, no, that's not right. And until you bend the knee, until you do what, well, the Trump administration believes is right, we're going to withhold funding. Now, today's development seems to indicate that the pendulum may be swinging in the other direction.
And it did.
Let's take a look.
Hey everyone, we do have a bit of breaking news to bring you out of our nation's capital. It looks like the Supreme Court is allowing President Trump to implement his ban on transgender people serving in the military, at least for now. The High Court lifting a lower court injunction blocking the policy while litigation continues. Our senior Washington correspondent, Devin Dwyer, joins me now. All right, Devin, what do we know?
Well, the Supreme Court, Kira, is letting the policy go forward in a divided vote, 6-3. The 3 liberal justices indicated they would dissent from this move. The Trump administration had asked the High Court to lift a block on the policy that was issued by a judge out in Washington State. That judge, appointed by George W. Bush, said that this policy was discriminatory, unfairly exclusionary, and unsupported by the evidence. He said it would likely be struck down, but the Supreme Court now reversing course. What this means, Kira, is that the Trump administration can now begin to discharge transgender service members who have served their country for the last 4 years in the United States military. There are about 4,200 active duty troops who are trans, according to the Pentagon figures.
Damn, I didn't know it was that many. Did y'all?
A group of 7 of those trans service members sued to challenge this policy, but today, at least temporarily, Kira, the Supreme Court has turned away their appeals.
So what happens now?
Those discharges can begin. The litigation, however, Kira, does continue. It's in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals out in California. That means ultimately the Supreme Court could actually take up this case on the merits. But what the court is signaling today is that the President of the United States is owed broad deference over how the military is run and who they can allow into the military. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has argued that transgender service members pose a problem for unit cohesion and military readiness, lethality. Although judges have found no evidence of that. But today, again, with this Supreme Court decision, the administration can move forward with the same policy it had back in the first term, removing those service members, around 4,000.
And Trump also won against Maine. I'm just not going to let all that play. All right, I think I want to play one more. Yep, I'm going to end with this.
Go out, buy a gun. It's okay to be angry. Get my face now! If you try to stop me from going into a woman's bathroom, excuse me, it's ma'am. It's the last mistake you ever make. It is ma'am. Find that anger. Yes, ma'am. Hey! Harness it to do good in the world. This anger. John, man. We can just make them fat and say that some of us. Wow. Anger is probably my primary source of motivation. For everything that I do. Cut that out now, or you'll go home and back once. This call to action or call to arms. Don't be afraid to show your anger.
Mass shootings. I'm gonna do this one again. Damn. Oh, here we go. Oh, I know what I'm doing.
It's a level of success where it's a door. It's a door. When you platinum and you getting 50,000 a show, I've been there. There's a door that you can walk in. I'm not sure if it's homo or if it's Illuminati. I just didn't take that door. I went straight. What do you mean? Listen, when you get to a level of success, when you getting 30, 40, 50,000 a show, you platinum, you running across the world. There's three different doors, right? There's three different ways to walk. There's to the left, there's to the right, and then there's straight. Straight is you're on your own. Let's see if you continue this success, young man. Let's see if it's all about your skills, young man. Let's really see that. And you went straight. To the right, I'm not sure if that's the homo shit right there. And then there's to the left, I'm not sure if there's some sacrifice shit going on right there. I'm not sure because I went straight. But I was offered these doors. It's just you're offered some gay shit. I don't. No. I'm saying that to the right when I seen it, those was those guys over there. You know what I'm saying? Those different people, which I have no problem with. You know, that's y'all. You feel me? And I just chose to go straight, and I haven't been platinum since.
Boom. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment.